Welcome, dear friends. Let's enjoy an in-breath and an out-breath. An in-breath and an out-breath. And an in-breath and an out-breath. And continuing like that from the time that we emerged into this human manifestation, to this number of years as human manifestation on planet Earth, the heart beating, the breath, in breath, out breath. We welcome the breath, we welcome the awareness of breathing with the song from Sister Annabelle, Sister Chanduk, and the whole Plum Village community of lay and monastic practitioners. Today is Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025. That's in one calendar. Many other dates in other calendars. We're nearing the end of the calendar year of 2025, and we can feel what that year has been like in our bodies, in this body and individually and in our collective body. Many challenges in many of the countries on our planet. Many challenges to the many species on our planet. And also many joys. Many moments of wonder and awe and amazement. As we touch each other through the Zoom screen, our practice has been to say, "Oh, hello," and just focus with an in-breath and an out-breath on one person, smile to them, and say their name. So just one breath. And then, if you like, move to another person. "Oh, hello. I see you. Glad you're here. We'll welcome you." And then moving to another person. "Ah, hello, my friend. I see you." And we can continue like this throughout our evening, throughout our morning, cultivating the welcoming mind. And we can also turn our awareness to all the parts of ourselves, so-called selves. Oh, the various physiological parts, the heart, the lungs, the kidneys. Oh, hello. Glad you're here in this body. And then the voices of the Sangha within, the 1-year-old and the 5-year-old and the 10-year-old. Oh, hello, little one. Glad you're here. The whole Sangha within ourselves, so-called self. And we can also turn our awareness to our ancestors and the many ancestral streams that have nourished us. And sometimes we use the word belonging. Where do we belong? Or what's our root ancestral stream? And yet we can also say that every stream that has touched us as humans, manifestations, is our ancestral stream as well. All the religious and faith groups, the cultural groups, the national groups. So in the spirit of interbeing, some people have put new words to what for some people are familiar Christmas carols. And I'm just going to read for this moment the new words to Silent Night to bring us into our morning chant from the Buddhist practice and the Namavalokitesvara. And later maybe we can sing or play Silent Night. But the words, you could just take them in the audio. Silent night, morning light. That's MORNING, but of course in English there's a homonym, MOURNING. So what are we mourning as well as what are we celebrating? So the melody you can sing to yourself if you know it. Just say the words, silent night, morning light, winter bird enjoys her flight. Happy just to be alive, knowing she has already arrived. One with earth, tree, and sky, watching the clouds go by. Silent night, morning light, winter bird enjoys her flight. Happy just to be alive, knowing she has already arrived. One with earth, tree, and sky, watching the clouds go by. So this is the day after the last day of the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. It is a couple of days before the Christian holiday of Christmas, and the day after Christmas in the United States, there's a holiday called Kwanzaa from the African heritage tradition. And then comes a new year, and then eventually January and February, Tet, the Vietnamese and Lunar New Year. So we have much to ground ourselves in these ancestral streams, even as we acknowledge the deep tragedies that have happened this year. Let's enjoy the morning chant from the Plum Village tradition, even though we know in some places it's evening and in some places it's afternoon. We can be present with the melody and the chant, and then we'll chant Namo Vilokitesvara, evoking compassionate energy. And then we are being offered today equanimity practice and peace and patience practice with Jerome. So we can have a big embrace. Actually, why don't we all do that? We're embracing all the people on the screen and all the people in our neighborhoods and communities and countries and world, planet, and the universe and cosmos, and this individual human body. Just feel the hug, and if you want, even just soothe the upper arm. And in breath, out breath. I am here. And thank you, Nikki. Yes, we could also tap, and we could be little wings of a fluttering bird. There's a lot with this crossing the arms over this body. So with that, we can also bow, offer a gesture of gratitude. Thank you, Bev. We'll cue up the chants. Dear friends, welcome back to a space in which we can see each other's screens, faces. Welcome to those who have just come on. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you are here for the 5th or 10th or 15th time, welcome. Can we see each other in this moment as if it's the first moment that we are seeing each other? So, is Jerome back on yet? I'm not seeing him. Okay. So
I'm here. Just need a couple more minutes to get set up.
Okay. Okay. So,
He's using his daughter's picture.
oh, okay. Thank you, Nikki, because I'm not seeing it. But
Do you see Rachel?
Yeah, down at the very bottom.
now I see. Thank
I
you.
think that's
Well,
Jerome.
yes, thank you. I do see Rachel Friedman. Yeah. So, Jerome is a longtime friend and Order of Interbeing member who lives in the Bay Area. He has had a long experience with our practice and with various other practices, um, including the Enneagram and other practices that I'm not recalling at the moment. And I prefer to let him actually introduce himself. And do you want me to change your name, Jerome? I think I can do it as the host.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. And I'll make you a co-host. Just so some of you may have experienced Jerome's beautiful energy and teachings with deep relaxation and other practices. And we thought this is a good time for a practice on equanimity. Equanimity is one of the four elements, we could say, in Thay's teachings of the mind of love, the heart of love. So kindness, loving kindness, joy, compassion, and equanimity. Equanimity is sometimes translated in Thay's practice as non-discrimination and as inclusiveness. And in the early days of the translation of the Buddhist teachings, it was patience and forbearance. And Thay kind of widened our understanding of what a full embrace could be. So I have a great pleasure in welcoming Jerome and being able to change his name.
I'm doing it.
There's great power in the host. I can change everybody's name. So with that, I will start. And Jerome, would you like, are you okay if I spotlight you for everyone, or?
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
So, very glad to be here today. Thank you, Lynn, for inviting me. As she said before, I have taught several classes on the Brahma Viharas. I think this will be the fourth on equanimity and peace. So I want to begin with a little practice. And during the practice, I will offer a poem that is very relevant to my talk and to what we're trying to come to grips with today in our society. So I invite you to take a comfortable position, and I will invite the bell. If I can find my bell, turn on original sound. Okay, got it. I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it go. Another, and let it go. And one more, and let it go. Withdraw yourself into yourself and become aware of your body. There is a body sitting here, or lying here, or standing here. Just notice. Be aware of no other spaces but these spaces. Be aware of no other times but this time. Be here, be now, be here now. As you listen to this poem by Julia Fehrenbacher, who I've met online several times, and listen to the words and see what happens. The poem is titled Message from the Wind. On this autumn afternoon, after hours of trying to flee the moment, hours of scouring the sky for some sliver of truth, I lay myself down. Beneath the cathedral of oaks and watch one leaf at a time. Let go, float, twirl, land. Right here beside my open hand. And then the wind whispers these words. Peace cannot find you if you are not here. Peace cannot find you if you are not here. And here it is, truth that finds me when I stop the swirl, when I let go when I land, when I let myself be found. Now take a moment to reflect on what you just heard. I want you to consider what strikes you most about this poem, and what does it mean to be present. So in a moment, I'll invite the bell and have you write down your reflections on this poem if you are willing to. You can also just think about it. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write the poem and to write your reflections, and then we'll have a discussion. Begin writing. It's best if you don't lift the pen off the paper, just continuous writing. You might consider, did I offer peace today? Did I bring a smile to someone's face? Did I say words of healing? Did I let go of my anger and resentment? Did I forgive? Did I love? These are the real questions. So time has come. Stop writing. And I'm wanting to hear from you. Who would like to share what they wrote or what their reaction was to the poem? Don't see any hands yet. Beverly.
A haiku arrived, and it was inspired by the idea of peace finding me instead of me looking for peace. So here it is. Always looking for elusive peace. Butterfly has landed.
Sweet, thank you. Getting a lot of hands for that. Oh, Julia.
Okay. This is a reflection on the line, peace cannot find you if you are not here. When you are lost, you are advised to stay in one place to be found. This line from this poem reminded me of this advice. If I am lost in the past or the future, I need to stay in one place to find myself in the present moment.
Thank you. Lovely. That was lovely. A lot of hands here, too. Uh, Jen.
Excuse me. Constant activity prevents peace. Constant mental searching, finding, discarding, searching, 24 hours searching, checking all around for threat, always finding them. My constants, and I am expert.
Thank you. Getting a lot of hands again. Emil. I think you're muted. You're still muted. Bev, can you unmute him or something?
There we go. Okay, test.
We can hear you. Yeah.
All right, one word, frequency. Counting out.
Thank you. More hands. One more? Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your sharing. You'll have another chance. So, you might also consider what would we have to hold in compassion to be at peace right now? And what would we have to let go of to be at peace right now? Those are two more considerations for the same thing. Sayadaw U Tanzania said, when you are aware of a peaceful mind, it continues to be peaceful. It becomes more and more peaceful. When you aren't aware of a peaceful mind, then the mind starts breaking down into chaos. So, what are some of the attributes of this thing we call peace? this is our season of peace on earth, goodwill towards men. But I have a feeling that not much of that is happening, unfortunately. And this gives us the time to contemplate what it is to be at peace, what it is to be equanimous, what it is to be balanced, what it is to be inclusive. I think that the first task in accomplishing this is to become a refuge for ourselves. We take refuge in our practice, in our breath, in our body, in our feelings. We take refuge in the Dharma, in the Buddha, in the Sangha. And this act of taking refuge gives us a sense of being peaceful, of belonging, because we know many of our Sangha members are practicing in the same way. And this gives rise, perhaps, to the absence of pain and sorrow. If we're at peace, we're not going to be in pain or sorrow. Peace is the way, as Tai said. There's no way to peace. Peace is the way. And then what arises from this peaceful place is the other Brahma Viharas. Kindness arises. Compassion arises. Sympathetic joy arises. I'm talking from experience, because when I get into a peaceful place, I know these things happen. I feel more kind. I feel the joy in having successfully raised my 3 children to lead such wonderful lives that they don't need a thing from me anymore, which is good and it's bad, and it has both sides. But that means we have a full house of things that they don't want. And I'm happy for them. In fact, you saw the picture of Rachel when I first came on. She's now in New Zealand with her husband and celebrating there with their friends. So kindness arises, and compassion arises, and sympathetic joy arises. And we begin to accept life just as it is, which is often really difficult to do. And then we come into a feeling of safety in ourselves. We don't have to worry about the outside world that much if we have peace within. And then when the mind is calm, peace arises. So this is what our practice is all about, finding moments of peace. A daily practice really helps you thrive in this. And it helps you to bring mindfulness into everything you do. And once you do that, you find that you're peaceful all day through, and you're not concerned about how awful it is in the outside world. At least that's how I experience it. I'm not sure if any of you feel that way also. And then the heart remains open to explore the feelings with other people, to bring them into your life and to enjoy being with them and share their vibrations and love and honesty and peace. And uh, we we begin to accept our bodies just as they are. We're just not, we may not be 100% healthy, especially when you get to high 80s, as I am. It's almost impossible to not have some problems in the body, but you accept those problems and you live peacefully with them without getting caught up in uh, being ill or getting disturbed. Uh, then, when you're open to it, you begin to have experiences of love, of joy, of wonder, and wisdom, just as they are. And they really open your heart to the common humanity that we all share. And when you have peace, you have a feeling of being at ease, comfortable with your life, comfortable with your loved ones, comfortable with your friends, enjoying the peaceful celebrations that probably will begin tomorrow night with Christmas Eve. We're not Jewish. I mean, uh, we are Jewish in our family, but my daughter-in-law's family is not Jewish. So we will have Christmas with them, even though it's not necessarily our chosen path. Um, and you become able to be still in body and mind when you want to be or when you feel the need for quiet. You sit down, you maybe close your eyes, you maybe take several deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out, and you feel grounded and you're ready to face the rest of the day. You could do that for 3 minutes. I know it works because I've done it myself. And you live with ease and joy and well being. And that's what life is about, as far as I'm concerned. But then there's another thing that occurs. And I know this from experience. You come to the point where it's okay if you don't know what's going to happen. You practice don't know mind, which is a fundamental Zen practice. If you remember, Suzuki Roshi said, in the expert's mind, there are many things going on, but in the beginner's mind, there are very few, something like that. I didn't write it down completely, so I just not quoting it verbatim. And then you recognize the pain and suffering in your life and in others' lives, and compassion arises, and kindness arises. And all of this arises from being at peace, from being accepting and loving, from being full of joy and equanimity. So if you have peace, you have equanimity, you have balance, you have interconnectedness, you have interbeing, and you become naturally kind and generous. You have compassion for yourself and others. So now for one moment, I want to read you another poem about balance and inclusiveness. And this one is from Dr. Mary Felice, who is she's not a Buddhist, but she's very kind and generous, as you will see. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a breath and listen. You know you need balance because joy feels far away. Clarity is foggy and your body is tired. You feel sluggish, maybe frustrated, and still there's a spark in you. You're open, you're hopeful, you're showing up, but something is off. You're managing life, not living it. You're working hard, but the lightness is missing. Balance isn't just about less work and more rest. It's about right relationship with time, energy, priorities, and soul. It's about living from your center, not from your calendar. Balance doesn't mean everything is equal. It means everything has its place. You're not here to be perfectly scheduled. You're here to be perfectly alive. Richard Rohr reminds us that the second half of life, balance means embracing what you once tried to avoid. Necessary suffering, shadow, surrender. He says the way up is the way down. And as you know, Tai says the way out is the way through. That your imperfections are not detours, but doorways to grace. Carl Jung called this individualization. The lifelong work of integrating parts of you've hidden or denied. He knew balance wasn't found in perfection, but in wholeness, where your shadow walks behind your light. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches that true balance begins with mindfulness, to breathe, to pause, to notice. He reminds you that you can touch peace in this very moment, that a warm cup of tea, shared laughter, or a silent walk can restore you. That presence, not performance, brings joy back to life. So ask yourself today, what needs to rest? What wants to bloom? What part of you needs attention? Not fixing, just presence. You don't need to master balance. You just need to return to it over and over again. Just like in our meditation, we return to our object of meditation over and over again. Because when you live from your center, your joy returns, your purpose gets clearer, and your life stops buzzing and starts humming. Balance isn't perfection, it's alignment. And when you find it, you feel your soul exhale. By Mary Felice. So if you had your eyes closed, I invite you to open your eyes, and I would like to hear how you felt by hearing these words from Dr. Mary Felice. She brought in a lot of beautiful thoughts. See lots of hearts. Just sit with it. Sit with the peace. Sit with balance. Sit with that equanimity. Sit with inclusiveness. As Ty said, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Just be here. Be now. Be here now. Questions, comments, realizations, insights?
I really liked this poem. I feel like she gave us a lot of ways to think about achieving peace. I love the one about the schedule. I don't remember it exactly, but the thought of, is your schedule running you? Or it was something about that that really hit home to me. That it would be good to be checking in more with myself instead of my calendar.
Yes.
So I really like that. I hope we'll get a copy of this poem because I can tell I would like to read it every day for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to send it. I'll send it to Lynn. I'll send both poems to Lynn and she can distribute it.
Great.
To,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you, Jerome, for this wonderful session.
thank you, Nikki. Uh, Lynn.
This is Lynn bowing in. Oh, I really loved those poems. And what was which just surprised me in such a delightful way was in this last poem when she says about in finding balance, there's not perfection, but you return to it over and over again, like the object of meditation. That's just beautiful, and just a thought that is a real takeaway for me from today. So thank you so much, Jerome.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, she didn't say about meditation returning to the object. That was my interjection. I just want you to know that. I just knew that that would be a point for some people and their practice as well. Kobe, to hear from you.
So much, Jerome. Um, what I was feeling is like something I'm realizing lately that um, there's a lot of focus sometimes in meditation about awareness and being aware and breathing. And I'm realizing now, what do we do with the things that I'm aware with? And I realize that this is kind of like an alternative in the sense of, can I be peaceful with it? Can I fully accept whatever I'm observing in me and around me? So it's kind of letting go of the fear, the pride, the blame, the anger, but also kind of bringing kind of kindness and acceptance and love into that, even if it's uncomfortable. So I feel like what I really like about it, it becomes like not something that have to happen kind of outside, but it's really just a relationship with the things that come into the awareness, and not being afraid of being aware of more things, or being noticing more things, but really kind of learning to live with it, with that acceptance and balance, and being grounded into something that is able to be at peace in a sense. So it's kind of like, I feel like it's almost like a deep aspiration of, can I um, develop, grow in a way that I can accept more, love more, have a good relationship with what comes to the awareness, instead of the judgment or the fear, or the other thing. So yeah, I definitely want to see. I feel like I missed a lot of the poem. I was trying to grab into different words or sentences and then let them go as well and say, okay, it's okay. And I can read it later. Hopefully it will be shared. But I feel like even that, I feel like what was happening to me, I said, okay, I can be at peace with losing the words, losing the sentences, and not worrying about it right now. So it's kind of nice of like shining the light on what's coming into the awareness, and saying, how am I going to be looking at it? How I'm going to be relating to it? And I really felt like suddenly peace, awareness, kindness, acceptance all became like interbeing with each other, instead of being these separate things. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, that is also one of the points of this whole talk, is that they are all interconnected with presence, with being in the moment. Anne, you had your hand up. You have your hand up.
Yes, and bowing in. I wrote this after your first prompt, and now I'm going to read it. Interbeing with the poet's words. Your voice, Jerome. My dog next to me, the presence of my Sangha siblings. It is always possible to slow myself down.
Thank you. Could you read that last sentence, please?
It is always possible to slow myself down.
Yes, that's a very important message.
Thank you.
When I'm out walking, which I try to do every single day, I missed day before yesterday because of the pouring rain. But when I do these walks, I stop quite frequently just to breathe, take 3 deep breaths, and then continue on. Now, it may be my age that makes me want to do that, but I also enjoy the wonders of life, the trees, the plants, the animals, even the architecture of some of the houses that I pass. So, peace can be carried with you as you do walking meditation. And, if we were doing a day long, we would do some peaceful walking meditation together. Anybody else? Yes, Bev.
Bowing in. The one line, a lot of lines popped out at me. One was presence, not performance. And along with that, was attention, not fixing, and how I realized that sometimes that kind of thing of living by a calendar or fixing things and is like if you had a bud and you just pulled the petals open because you wanted to see the flower in full bloom. You would kill the flower, and 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 I realized that just gentle attention um, is is the opposite of doing that. And when I'm trying to fix something, it's like pulling the petals out. So thank you for allowing that insight to arise. Bowing out.
Thank you, Bev. Davy, nice to see you.
Ma Devi, bowing in. Jerome, it was a real gift. As you can see, I'm also on the West Coast, still not yet in Israel in a few weeks. And so the light is just coming. And so this has been a real gift. And why? Because you have brought our attention to so many positive things, so much like Thai. You know, uh, so into everything that's taking place all over, so much grabbing our attention and making us all feel, or at least me, quite deleted and depleted and everything else. And the whole idea about you're just helping us remember all about Thai, about touching peace in every moment, about how to restore yourself with a cup of tea or the silent walk. Even when you mention about imperfections, instead of beating up ourselves, that it can be a door to grace. I mean, one after another after another. So for me, what you did was you brought our attention to so many balanced places that bring the peace and the well-being. So I'd like to thank you very much. It's very much a breath of fresh air. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Davy. I'm really touched by all your responses. I feel blessed to be able to share these teachings with you. And as you know, some of you might know that I am aspiring to receive the lamp transmission. So any support that you can give to me for that would be totally welcome. Lynn is not railroad. Lynn is sponsoring me in this effort. And I'm very grateful for all the people who have already sent in recommendations. So thank you all for being here. I have another session to teach in just a little while, so I'm going to have to sign off pretty soon. But I'm glad you were here, and may you find peace and happiness. I have some parting words.
Jerome, before you leave, though, would you be willing to put in the chat some of your initial questions so that we could use them in the breakout groups, in the shadow
Oh,
groups?
oh, sure. I'll put
Yeah.
them in.
Okay, thank you. That would be really helpful, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
So my closing remarks come from a Tibetan prayer, which I use in my metta practice. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Thank you so much. Okay, I will bow out. Jerome bowing out. Nice to be with you.
With great gratitude, Jerome. Uh, may this time in your life be one of great flourishing and nourishing as you offer nourishment to others.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Dear friends, we are continuing to deepen and build our Sangha connection, and we have the opportunity to share in so many different ways. So today it has been by hearing talk and practice, and also hearing from each other and with each other. Jerome has put in the chat, he has this remarkable way with computers. He, in his a previous lifetime, he was a computer person. So he has put on his computer many quotes, and apparently these questions are quote number 17,693. Um, so these are questions from Jack Cornfield. They weren't actually the questions I was thinking of, but what would we have to hold in compassion to be at peace right now? What would we have to let go of to be at peace right now? Um, if those are meaningful to you as prompts, um, please take them in. Um, and also, just what is in your mind, heart at this time, um, this past day, this past week? Not to get caught in the past, but to be able to reflect on it and share with each other. And then what you are looking into for your practice, and how do you practice with whatever it is that's coming up. So the sharing rooms will be as usual, 3 people. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4, the way that Bev can figure it out um, with the numbers. And I think we can take about 20 minutes. Um, and if each person, 1 or 2 go-arounds is really nice, with each person taking some time to be able to look deeply, and um, with the reflection of other people, the listening reflection, and then go into conversation if you like. So be sure to stretch. Bev, are we okay with the rooms? Um, as we're waiting for the sharing rooms, the invitation to join, what are the arms and shoulders feeling like as we raise them, and this clasping of the hands um, on top of the head and then up?
Okay, how long did you say, Lynn?
I think we could do 20 minutes. That will bring us to
Okay,
quarter of, and then we'll still have time for a whole group sharing before the bell chant.
okay,
Because,
let me
as many
just,
people said, there was a lot in those poems. So there may have been 1 or 2 lines you want to continue reflection
okay, I'm just looking over. Okay, we're mostly threes and, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay, so just remember. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your time together. Now it's our time until we have about a half hour, I think, for our whole group. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the gems. And I'm going to start by talking about my own realizations about especially the line attention and not fixing, and how in a way I'm like somebody who wants to juggle 20 balls and I don't even know how to juggle one of them. So and I'm always struggling to do more, and 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 that kind of struggle I think ends up with one doing less actually. So it's but I like that attention and not fixing, just being with what it is, not forcing the flower to open, as I was saying before. So I'm eager to hear what has arisen for you. And so I'm fine with either electronic hands, physical hands, or just jumping in. And right now, my eye fell upon Karen.
Hello, everybody. It was just a wonderful, rich experience with Julia and Mahadevi. And I'm wondering if it's okay with the two of you for us to briefly share some of the ideas that came up that might lead to one of these times involving some of the issues we were talking about. Now that I've been totally mysterious, would Julia or Mahadevi want to say something about that?
Julia bowing in. Karen, you're welcome to share anything that I said if you would like to. Bowing out.
Very, very quickly, and then I would really want both of you, if you want to amend or whatever. It ended up being, what's it like being Jewish now? And a lot of very confusing situations, the difference between what we experience as good intentions and how they might land on other people, and whether this is a topic that would even be appropriate or not for this Sangha, because it's not only Jewish people in the Sangha by any means. So if either of you want to add something, please do, Julia or Mahadevi.
Debbie bowing in. I had to go to the volunteers for a second. Could you just give me a brief synopsis of what you said? Did you say what you spoke about?
Yes, and whether it would be appropriate or not, since this is not only a Jewish Sangha by any means, to try to address some of the issues that we were talking about that are so challenging.
And one of the things that I said was today, for example, was extremely healing, and I think we talked about this a bit. That why do we come here? Why meet? Is it for healing, which many of my friends wanted in Israel and dropped out because it wasn't, or is it also to inform ourselves of many different situations and places and whatnot? And Karen said, well, of course, can it be both? But I think for me, what I was saying is that today was so healing because I'm so used to receiving information about even Hanukkah, where someone recently put in a newsletter that the Maccabees were a Jewish Taliban. And I can't deal with that kind of language. I mean, we've been so sharing, my family and I, the wonderful everybody has their own Hanukkah in Israel, as opposed to maybe outside. Usually, maybe you're lighting one, but everyone's making them. And there's so many candles being lit and so much light is being expressed. And joy is coming from that. That, when I read what someone's writing, who's very much in the practice, but speaking in that way, all I want to do is just, I don't know, sit down and forget about everything. It's just too strong for me. And I'm one of the only ones that stayed apart from Baruch and Sheila, because many of my friends left for that very reason, that it's not healing. And so that's part of what we were discussing. And it was such a different morning this morning for me, because it was all put in a way that you feel so much of a sense of well-being. And I know Bev was mentioning that too, as to where you put your attention and what happens with it. And it's been very difficult on us these past few years that, if I say that I'm from Israel, so I have to immediately say that I'm against Gaza, would I have to immediately go into the politics where I never had to do that before? I could just be whoever people take me as, or whoever they see me as, but I don't need to go into the political thing just because I just meet someone for the first time in the first 2 minutes. And this has been a very pressured situation that has gone on for some time. And, those of you that know me, that I grew up my children with coexistence or co-this or co-that. And that's why they have the professions that they do. But any stranger that I meet outside doesn't know that. And so immediately, and I feel this in the atmosphere of Canada, very much so. And Toronto's become a very difficult place for Jews to be, though we're not on the East Coast. And of course, the States. And so this is, I don't know, a topic that we were speaking about as how to deal with this one as well. Thank you for listening.
Karen,
Yes.
are you kind of complete now with your
Oh,
um
yes, it's a very
okay.
incomplete wondering. So I'm as complete as it's possible to be.
Okay, just
Thank you.
wanted to check in. Okay, so is there anyone else who is inspired to share with us? Oh, V.
Good morning, everyone. I don't have my picture up because my internet connection is unstable. So, Vitala bowing in. I guess I'm following up on a cue from the last share for me regarding other possible topics for this Sangha. One that came up, it came out of something that I shared about, but other people seem to also express an interest in. There was one of the queries from Andre Nguyen was about today was, did I forgive? And I had an awareness in the middle of the night last night about my higher power kind of saying to me, giving me more than a small nudge, a bigger nudge, a bigger, what about forgiveness? What if you brought forgiveness to that situation, that thought, that relationship? And it was powerful. I've often, so it came forward in our group. I said it would be lovely to have this Sangha have something on forgiveness and the practice and what people encounter, and that it would be meaningful to me personally, and maybe others would also find it. I think some people talk about like that's the real F word, saying that's the real F word. Can I forgive? So, yeah. I guess I also want to share, just because I'll try to put my picture up very, very quickly. Today is my 75th birthday, and I'm happy to share it with all of you. And you've meant so much to me. I like seeing all your wiggling fingers, and I'm just glad that you've been helping me. And one of the other things that I learned, look at all those hearts and toot horns, and that one of the things that attracts me to being here is learning how to be at peace in an unpeaceful world. I can't just pull into a place of peace and say, oh, the world doesn't bother me. No, the world bothers me a lot. So I'm still here to learn how, and that's why I turned to Ty on this, because I feel like he's really, in many ways, a master, true master of how to be in this world and in the midst of so much suffering and not turn away from it, and not ignore it and not be overcome by it. So, and then I was quoting a passage from Jesus about, I have overcome the world. So I was just reflecting on that. So, overcoming the world. Thank you. Needle bowing out.
Cody.
Thank you. I'll share quickly because I shared before, but I just wanted to share that when Madhavi was sharing, I decided to lit this candle around me. And what came to me again, this idea of the quality of a light on whatever topic we bring, and I want that quality of light to be of kindness and love. So this idea we can bring the pain into the sanghas, we can bring the challenges in, but we can also kind of hold it with this kind of warm light. And I was sharing in this small group that I realized that we can have like a fluorescent light that is very wide and big, but it's kind of cold. And to me also the light of science or the light of intellectualism or arguing about terms sometimes feels to me like a very kind of cold light. So it's understanding, but it's kind of cold understanding. And I feel like there is this warm light, like the light of a candle, which really can't be imitated by any artificial light, that is not a light on a big area, but it's with a lot of warmth and care. And I was thinking about the session today about really is the peace maybe this ability to hold something with a lot of care. And that is kind of what creates some kind of a balance or and also it's something we can give each other. And I really think like this is so important. Like so much of the hurt I think we're causing each other is when we are not able to see really the needs of another person or the wishes of them, and we even forget our own needs and our own wishes, and in that moment we're kind of just doing something. So working on that quality of really being able to be caring and loving and shining a warm light of compassion and kindness on ourselves and then those around us. This is something I'm taking from this session. Thank you. Bye now.
We still have a fair amount of time, and it would be lovely to hear and to see what came to light for you, each of you, bowing out. I know Jerome said presence, not performance, but I guess I'd like some performance too. I see you're all here, you're all present, and maybe that's a good thing that um, feeling complete so that you don't need to say anything. And so silence is a good thing too, bowing out.
I'll invite Carolina, who's at the top of my screen, if you'd like to say anything about next week, because I think you're planning to offer something. And maybe that would be helpful to people, if you're willing.
Dear friends, hello. Yes, when you, Karen, and Mahadevi were mentioning that how to be, what it's like to be something today. So, what it's like to be a Colombian Catholic today? Well, that's a tremendous question. and one of the ways to be that today for me is is trying to practice bringing light to the traditional practice that Catholics have here which is 9 days of praying and gatherings and singing. And how to do that with a different energy in my case. So what we have been doing this past 7 days yesterday, 8 days today, this afternoon, is that we meet online with Sangha friends that at the beginning I thought that they will be only from Colombia, and then the first day there was people from Mexico, Argentina, Ecuador. So there was a response that I was not expecting. I still feel that it was something that we all somehow wanted and needed. And it has been a beautiful opportunity to look deeply into those prayers and see the gems in them and the inspiring wisdom. So for next week, I will be sharing about that, or just the practice that has been developing from that. Yes, I guess that's what I can say. Thank you. Bowing out.
So, Anne, bowing in briefly. I was so struck in that first poem of Jerome's. I'd lay myself down on the ground, and then the leaf comes down, and it's swirling at first, but then it settles next to my hand, and I'm realizing that I am both that body on the ground and I'm the leaf. I'm both. And that deepens me somehow. So I'm just, as always, grateful. And bowing out.
Ken.
And bowing in. I had a strong reaction to the image of the leaf falling, because when the poem started being in this like forest of oak trees, there were many leaves falling, and I don't know why I couldn't get past that feeling of and I felt like the poem was asking me to edit out and only have one leaf fall at a time, like and so I was like, maybe struggle's too strong, but maybe not. I just had a hard time with that. And then I'll read the kind of a series of phrases came up when we were asked to write about the poem. So I just wrote, stop, be with, listen,
Anapil, isn't garbage. It's a
I have to apologize.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, and
No,
start
Those are
over,
phrases too.
please.
please.
Um, so I'll just start again because it's not that long. Stop, be with, listen, watch, allow what is, don't edit, be with, notice resistance, smile, be with, touch safety, touch peace. And so those kind of phrases kind of really settled me down because I was sharing in the small group that I came to this meditation after having like too many things happening already in the morning. I had been at a 12-step meeting and I was sharing on the phone with someone, and they were late, but then they wanted to go on and I had to cut it short because I wanted to be here. So there was just a lot of leaves falling. It was more like a windstorm than a peaceful fall day. So anyway, that's, I guess, one of the takeaways about both balance and peace is that for me, it's much more of a process, and it's like very slippery and fleeting. It's not like a permanent state of being, and I'm not used to that. I want it to be a little more fixed and stable, and I want peace to be in concrete. So anyway, that's not my experience, and I'm glad that this practice can help me with that. Thanks.
There are still a few who we haven't heard from.
Do you see Lynn Kaufman, Beth?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't. Thank you. Okay, Lynn.
This is Lynn bowing in. I have a relationship with falling leaves, and maybe I could share it with thinking about my my grasping and grasping for peace, and then having to let go, and then having peace find you. I was in Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha achieved enlightenment. And for any of you that have been there, of course, there's the beautiful Bodhi tree. And it's not all nature underneath that tree, it's actually concrete all around it. And a lot of people come and sit. And when I was there, there's this thing about maybe the tree will release a leaf, and that leaf will just float down on someone. And I thought, how amazing would that be if, as I was sitting there in meditation, a leaf would float down on me? Wouldn't that be incredible? So of course, I'm thinking that as I'm sitting there. And as we're meditating, a leaf does not fall down on me. And it does fall down on someone close to me, though. they they had a leaf. There's just one. It just happened just once. And when we were done with the meditation, then the group left to go explore the rest of the area. And there's a lot of stupas there. And there were stupas that were also underneath the tree on the concrete. So I thought, well, I don't care if the leaf, didn't fall down on me. Maybe there's a leaf that I could find. Maybe a leaf will reveal itself. So I'm looking on I stay back and I'm looking on the concrete thinking maybe I'll find a leaf. And I'm one of those leave no stone turn people. And so I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I don't see a leaf and I'm aware that my group is somewhere else and I don't know the language and maybe I should be but I'm still determined. Maybe there. So I see all of a sudden I see on one of the stupas, which is right next to me, there is a leaf. So I thought, there's a leaf. I'm going to take the leaf. I'm going to have a leaf from the Bodhi tree. So I take the leaf and I start walking away, and then it hits me. Wait a minute. Someone might have put that leaf on the stupa as an offering. And that actually is not a leaf for me, and I'm stealing. I'm stealing. I'm taking something that does not belong to me. And the guilt just was huge. It's like, I have to go put this leaf back. So I go back to the stupa and I put the leaf back, and I'm filled with tremendous shame that I let my enthusiasm and grasping, not see that in the first place. And I was very embarrassed. I'm like, oh gosh, did anyone see me? There's that grasping girl over there. And so all these things are swirling through my mind. And I just stopped. I just took a breath and I relaxed. And I said, okay, I'm not getting a leap. It's not for me. I am letting that go. So I let it go. And I took some breaths and I just looked up at the tree and enjoyed looking at the tree. And all of a sudden, something starts swirling down towards me. And it was a little stem that had two brand new leaves, two baby green, that beautiful green color that new things are. And it just swirled down and I caught the leaf. And I was like, oh, and it was just a baby leaf for my baby Buddha nature that recognized that moment to let go. And so I kept it pressed in a book, and when I got home, I sprayed it, and I have it framed in my bookcase back there. And it's not new leaf green, it's brown now, but it it was just a gift. Just a gift. When I released trying to get it, it came to me. But bowing out.
Bit of bowing in. Um, to say if anyone has something burning they want to say now, they can. Otherwise, we'll go to the great bell chant. And my apologies. What had happened was I was making sure that I had it queued up. And for some reason, ads have started popping up. And I had forgotten to turn my audio off when I did that. So that's why, Ken, I'm so sorry it interrupted what you were saying. That's why it happened that way. So is there anyone else who wants to say something? Then we will go to the great bell chant. And I think I'll invite the bell 3 times now.